mentioned, they call out to other angels and they announce they come and join these people. They are the one who are closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are the one who are remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They do not go to those gatherings where the sports event is taking place, where the forgetfulness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking place. Is only those gatherings, even though it might be small, it might be in a small masjid, it will be people from a different nation. It mentioned in a hadith, and they come together just for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said these angels, they pile upon each other and they get to the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when they get to the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what's happening. But just to announce and to remind these angels, which they had made claim against humanity, against Adam alayhi salam, that Allah, you're creating this creation. He would cause chaos to the world. He would kill. He would commit sins. He would do disobedience. Just to remind them of that action, that these are the same people that you said that they would disobey me, and that the same individuals, same people, same creation are remembering me. And because of this, you are gathered and you are piling upon each other to my arsh. And he just to make them witness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked them, what are they doing? They said they're remembering you. And he said, what do they want? He said, they want Jannah. He said, have they seen Jannah? They said, they haven't seen Jannah. He said, what if they see Jannah? What happens? They said, they would want it even more. And it goes on. He said, what do they want protection from? He said, they want protection from hellfire. And he said, they have seen hellfire. He said, they haven't seen hellfire. He said, if they see hellfire, what would happen to them? He said, they will run away from it even more. And as soon as this is made, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that I have given them Jannah and I have protected them from hellfire. And once the announcement is made, there's one angel. Angels, they have some question about someone. You know, they always want to clear something up. They say, what about this individual that is into a gathering which he has no intent of sitting for the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He's just sitting there for some other needs. It's mentioned in a hadith. He said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that this gathering is so blessed and so virtuous and so blissful that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forgiven that individual as well. So this is the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He allow us to come to such gatherings, and may Allah protect us and even give us more of these gatherings. Is a dua of one shaykh, one scholar. He says, Allahumma la tarhimna khayra ma indaka bi sharri ma indana. O Allah, do not deprive us, do not make haram upon us a good that is coming from you. Do not deprive us of the good that is coming from you because of our shar, because of our evil. We're not deserving of the good that is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, do not deprive us from the shar that we are sending towards your way. So and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is constantly giving us the opportunity to come in these gatherings and allow us to sit in these gatherings where the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala happens. And as we know, prior to this month of Shawwal, we're into the month of Shawwal, there was a month of Ramadan. This was also one of the greatest blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that was upon us. And to the people who understand the virtue of the month of Ramadan, it was a constant effort that we were making to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From sunrise to sunset, we were constantly practicing ourselves of the awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We did not eat which was halal, we did not drink which was halal, just because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching me, just because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching me. And everyone was motivated. They had the momentum going to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As soon as they would break their fast, they would come for Salatul Isha. And after Salatul Isha, they would stand in Qiyamul Layl, in Taraweeh, and perform this and get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once they're done with Salatul Taraweeh, they would engage themselves in reciting Quran. And they would wake up and even get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that momentum that we have built, and then the month of Shawwal came upon us. And then as soon as the month of Shawwal came, as we see that that's what we have to hold ourselves accountable, that is the same momentum that I built in month of Ramadan, do I still have it into the month of Shawwal? If I don't, that's when I hold myself accountable. How come I do not have the same motivation that I had in the month of Ramadan, which Allah has blessed me with the month of Ramadan, which many blessings that He poured upon to me. And for this reason, Rasulullah ﷺ said, in Shawwal, whoever fasted in the month of Ramadan and follows he should follow it with the sixth fast of Shawwal. With the sixth fast of Shawwal, as soon as he follows the sixth fast of Shawwal, Rasulullah ﷺ said that as if that he would be considered as if he has fasted the entire year. So reason those fasts are given is to remind this individual of the blessing that he was put into the month of Ramadan, and is to remind him that to keep the same motivation and the same momentum that you built in month of Ramadan. Month of Ramadan was just a course that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed us that you put limitation to yourself. A person said, I cannot come to the masjid. But in month of Ramadan, it was easy for you to come to the masjid. I cannot read Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed that yes, you could listen to the Quran, you also could read the Quran. And I cannot get the awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed us that you're staying away from food, which if you eat, no one will hurt you, no one will hold you accountable. You could eat hiddenly, but you remember that Allah is watching me. He's watching me. It's only intention that you have made, and only thing you said, then Allah is aware of. If I eat, if I drink even a sip with the intention, my fast will break. This was the awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted from the fast. It wasn't because He enjoyed us that we are hungry, or He felt some goodness that we are thirsty. He did not. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said is to get you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's to get you the awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, get you taqwa. So then He put it into the month of Shawwal, which He gave us the six fast. The ulama have mentioned the reward in month of reward is given by 10 folds. It's given by 10 times. So this person who fasted the entire month of Ramadan is as if he's getting the reward as if he's fasting for 10 months, as if he's fasting for 10 months. So and then there's two more months left in the year. So he said that He gave him the fast of Shawwal, sixth fast of Shawwal. And they're given reward of 10 folds as well. So as if he's fasting for 60 days. So those 6 fasts will equivalent to 60 days. So that's how he's complete. That's what Rasulullah is saying, that he's giving the reward for the entire year. And that's what we have to hold ourselves accountable. That I have the same motivation that I had before, while I was in month of Ramadan, or I'm the same that was before the month of Ramadan. If my perception and my action are speaking the same, as soon as it was just like a travel, it was just like a tunnel that I just went through in month of Ramadan, and I came out as the same person, or I have changed in any a'mal that I have changed or not. So that's what Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anh, he says that hasibu anfusakum an tuhasibu qabla an tuhasibu. He said, hold yourself accountable before you are held accountable. Hold yourself accounted before you are held accountable. He said, wazinu qabla an tuwazinu. He said, weigh your a'mal, weigh your action before your actions will be weighed in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this was the action, and this was the habit of the Sahaba. They always calculated, they always accounted their reward. They always counted their reward. They did not count their wealth. They said in Hayatul Sahaba, I mentioned some of the Sahaba, they did not even know counting. They did not even know more than 10 counting or 5 counting. They would have wealth, but they don't know. They would just give in path of Allah. They would just use it. They didn't know how much was 2 or 3. They would just spend it. Just like we count our bank account, that how much I have, how much balance that I have, how much money I have made. What they would do, they would do ihtisab, they would do accountability of the reward. And that's what they were good at. They were not good at counting in regular wealth, but they were good at counting the rewards. And that's what they would compete each other. That's what they would ask each other. And that's what we see Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, he's coming with the entire wealth. Umar ibn Khattab is trying to compete with him, he's coming with half of his wealth. So this was a competition they would have, and they would have the accountability of the reward. So that's what we have to check ourselves, that I have built the same momentum that I have built in month of Ramadan, I'm bringing the same momentum outside month of Ramadan, or I'm just the same person that I was before month of Ramadan? Did I build into any action? Is the saying of Imam Ahmed. Imam Ahmed, he's one of the scholars of Madahib. He says people came to him and he said that, you know, in Ramadan people are filled in masjids, and they're so motivated, they're coming to the masjid, they're so motivated, the masjids are full. And what is the reason? And as soon as Ramadan finished, they all disappear. And he said, he said a quote, and he said, "Halumhum ubadu Ramadan wa ubadu Rabbi Ramadan." Are they a slave of Ramadan or the slave of the creator of Ramadan? Who are the slave of? Are they slave of the month of Ramadan or the slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So this statement tells us that who are we worshiping, who are we getting closer to, who are we living for, who are we getting connected in month of Ramadan? That's what Imam Ahmed is telling. He said that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It doesn't matter if it's a month of Ramadan, that we have to keep the same awareness, the same taqwa, and same momentum outside month of Ramadan as well. And then the person might ask, so what is my capacity? How much in Ramadan I was doing so much a'mal, I was reciting Quran, I was doing everything. But outside Ramadan, it becomes difficult. It was easy for me to come for Taraweeh. It was easy for me. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, "La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not hold you accountable. He does not give you something which is not in your capacity. If whatever is in your capacity, if you could come for one salah in the masjid, Allah will, in eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is more beloved than coming one day for all the salah. He wants consistency in your a'mal. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. He said, "Fattaqullaha mastata'tum." He said, fear Allah as much you can. Now it doesn't mean that you pray like the person who's pray like the Sahaba. They stand up all night and reciting Quran for one day. It's by Uthman radiallahu anh. He said in the month of Ramadan he would come in and he would just recite the entire Quran in 2 rakat. So that's why he said, as much you can. You could recite one ayat of one line of Quran, of surah. That's fine. But one ayat that you could recite for a daily, that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says in a hadith, he said, "Khudu min a'mali ma tutiqun." He said, take from those action which you could tolerate. Now one day he gets motivated to do some a'mal. He said, you know what, today I'm going to pray 1,000 rakat. But the next day he disappears. Next day he's not there to pray, not even 2 rakat. So the Rasulullah he said, take from those a'mal which is in your capacity, which is in your ability, that you could do, that you make the intention that my 5 times salah, that I try to pray one salah in the masjid, and I get the reward for that. If he makes the consistency of that, and Allah would give the reward. And then the hadith continues. He said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not get tired hatta tumallu, till you get tired. You get tired of doing a'mal and doing dhikr and praying salah and praying nawafil, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not get tired of giving you a reward of it. And then it goes on. He said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves those a'mal ma dama wa in aqalla. He said those a'mal which are less but they are consistent. Which are less but they're consistent. Now it's not telling you to, whatever you did in month of Ramadan, do the same thing, not fast throughout the entire year. No, it's telling you, now you follow the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What was his sunnah? His sunnah was to, in month, he would fast 3 fasts, if 14, 15, 16, if a person wants to fast. And that's the level that you acquire. First you start from scratch, which I am lacking in. If I'm lacking in, and if he looks at weekly fast, if he wants to go even more, if he starts fasting in the month 3 fasts, 14, 15, 16, then he wants to do even more. Then he goes into looks into the weekly fast for Monday or Thursday, and the same way with salah, that he's able to pray his faraid. Now he looks into the sunan. Once he looks into the sunan, then he starts performing sunan. Then he goes into nawafil. what are the nawafil that I could perform, what are the extra things that I could do. Once he's able to do, extra nawafil, then he looks into the zakat that he has to give. That he's giving his the zakat that he has to give, the charity that he has to give. He's giving that, and then now he looks in what are the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that how much he would give, who else he would give, and then you give more sadaqah in path of Allah. So this is a gradual, just like in this world we have, is a step by step. No one tells you to in one day you do everything. No one tells you to become something in one day. A child, you take him from step by step. You take him from kindergarten, then from middle school to high school till college. So seeing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us, that we gradually get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As I mentioned in our hadith, that the hadith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves those a'mal that are less, but they are consistent. And holding ourselves accountable, that how much have improved in the month of Ramadan and outside the month of Ramadan. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillah rabbil alameen.